I just think it's absolutely astounding. It's so comprehensive. It's going to take an enormous amount of stress and strain out. So I'm incredibly grateful. I think you've done, both of you, most extraordinary, and thank you so much for dedicating so much of your life towards it. For us, it's a real chef d'oeuvre. It's a real calling, and I'm so grateful. It looks absolutely extraordinary. Can't wait to use it.
Hello, I'm John Jameson and I've been a student at the London School of Biodanza for many years. Now, in 2016, when we started our methodology, I was presented with what you yourself should be very familiar with, which is the IBF Catalogue of Music and Exercises. Wow, I was so excited to see this. But very soon I had a couple of questions. First of all, is there an easier way to get around this, to find exercises and music? And secondly, and perhaps even more importantly for me, I don't want to have to go and search on my computer for each of these pieces of music. I want to be able to click straight on them and get them to play straight away. And that's what gave birth to the idea of the London School of Biodanza Library. And so the first thing was to make this catalogue more accessible. Let's see what I came up with. So here we are. Here's the catalogue of music that we're all familiar with in the IBF 2012 catalogue, but with bonuses, plenty of bonuses. Let me introduce you. First of all, we now have a proper table of contents that lists all the exercises. Not only are they listed, but they've also got numbers on them as well now, so it's much easier to find your way around. Secondly, not only can you click on any exercise in the table of contents, like Joyous Walk, but you can also see all the exercises over here on the left in what's called the navigation pane in Word. So if I want to go to, say, Encounters, which I know is around about exercise number 100, I can just click on it and go straight to Diverse Encounters and start looking at the music. Number 2, when we click on each piece of music, it plays instantly. And we can go back and listen to another song. And then we can play away to our heart's content, listening to all the music one after the other, listening to as much or as little as we like. Ah, what joy to be able to scan through the music, quickly play it, and easily come to a decision as to which piece of music I want for my Vivencia exercise. Now, the technical challenges of achieving this and everything else I'm going to introduce to you have been immense, but now finally it's all put together for you to use easily and elegantly and simple to get on your computer, whether you're on Windows or Mac. And I'd love to share it with you, and not just this, but so much more, because I had more questions, such as, I was so pleased to get the catalogue and the music, but immediately I started wondering, where's some of my favourite music that I've got so used to hearing at the school and in Vivencias? What am I going to do without it? Songs like Bomba, which I love, weren't in the catalogue. Where are they? I said, and there was no obvious answer, so I thought, well, we're just going to have to include all this extra music in the catalogue itself, so that when we want to go and listen to, let's say, Bomba, we can put it into our catalogue and immediately find it listed under all its exercises, such as rhythmic sync in pairs. Find it and be able to listen to it.
Sensual. O movimento sensual. Sensual. O movimento é bem sexy. Sexy.
And not only rhythmic sync, but also rhythmic dance here, rhythmic dance with central movements. We go through and all the dances that it's listed in are highlighted here over the left. But I thought, let's go further. Let's list all those dances that it's assigned to in the music file itself, so that when it's playing in iTunes, we can actually see rhythmic sync, rhythmic dance, rhythmic central movements, expressive rhythmic dance are all listed there, displayed for us, so that I can see all the different exercises while it's even playing. Wow, how cool is that? And as I went on, I had several other questions, such as, hang on a minute, some of my favourite exercises seem to be missing, such as the tribal earth dance where we all go in and out of the centre, fire dance in twos, where were they? And particularly I was wondering, where are all the samba games? There were only a few in the catalogue, so guess what? started adding in some of these exercises. So a lot of work's actually gone into the catalogue itself. Some of the descriptions were hard to read, they weren't proofread, some of the translations were weird and wrong, sometimes the descriptions were a little incomplete. So a lot of work's gone in to tidy all that stuff up, to make it much easier, more readable and easier to use when we get to those descriptions of these exercises. So wow, what a joy to have all this together now in one place. So where did I get this extra music from? Well, there were two main extra sources for the music. Number one, the catalogue that was used by our teachers before the 2012 catalogue was released was known as the Diverse Catalogue. Sometimes it was known as different names. But that had 23 CDs of fabulous music in it. So the first thing to do was to bring in that collection of music and integrate it into this catalogue. And the second main source of music was that during Cycle 3 of the London School of Biodanza, a lot of other beautiful and fantastic music was being introduced. So I started capturing this music. So we've now got these fabulous collections of Biodanza music, all integrated together into the same catalogue, giving you a fantastic resource of music that's so good and so comprehensive you don't need to go beyond this collection to put together the most amazing of events. And yet there was more. There were other questions I had, like how come some of the music is relatively poor quality? I love high quality recordings because it can actually make quite a big difference in Vivencia. It's less flat, it draws you in, it's richer. So I also set about making sure that all of the poorer quality music was replaced with high quality and higher bitrate recordings, always from the same source but much better quality. And oh boy, what a difference it can make when you get these higher quality recordings. So a lot of work went into that. In fact, over half of the music in the whole library has been upgraded. So when you find a song in the LSB library, you can be sure it's the best quality recording around. Talking of which, there are often many different recordings of the same song around in Biodanza. So another question I had was, why are there so many duplicates and why are they often misnamed or named very differently? So a huge amount of work has gone into rationalizing all of the music. The naming has all been checked and is correct, and all of the duplicates found, not only between the different collections but also sometimes in the same collections, have been identified and removed or renamed as necessary, and now everything is exactly as it should be. Talking of which, I had another question, which was, why is it that so many of the songs don't have their album art on them? Now I like seeing the album art, so I've been through every single song in the library and made sure that all the album art is correct and is high quality. And so when you do get a chance to see the album art, it looks like this. Here are all the songs in the LSB library, all beautifully presented, all with their album art, which as you probably know can be seen in various ways, such as when the song is playing. There is a very small version of it here in iTunes, or it can be seen in iTunes by changing the view, or depending on your own preference. So another thought I had was, wouldn't it be lovely if we could see the lines of Vivencia for each piece of music? So with the help of the teachers, every single song has suggestions for lines of Vivencia, V for vitality, C for creativity, and so forth, assigned to each and every song. And so we were talking about consistency in songs, and one of the things that was very obvious right from the start was the complete inconsistency in the way the additional information that's held in each of the music files was being stored with all the songs that I was getting. So again, a huge amount of work's gone in to make sure that all the information that's stored in each of the songs is predictable and consistent and accurate. And so for any song, you can see in iTunes that the name, the time, the artist, the exercises, which are all put under the album tab, the lines of Vivencia, which are all put under the composer tab, the album it came from, and so forth, are all there. They're accurate and consistent, and you can rely on them. And so here we have it. It's my joy to share with you the LSB library, which I developed to work in Windows and have adapted it to work on the Mac too. But from this arose another question. I developed this to work in and under Microsoft Office, Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel for the spreadsheet version of this. But I realized the big problem is that not everybody has Microsoft Office, and if you don't have it, it's actually pretty expensive to buy or to rent every month. And so began a long search for an alternative to Microsoft Office that would function just as well, particularly in the aspect of being able to click on these links and get the music to play. Well, I'm pleased to say that, long story short, I have an alternative for you, and it's free. It's called WPS Office. And here's the catalogue displayed in WPS Office. It's functionally almost identical to Microsoft Word and Excel. So that means, for example, we still have a navigation pane, and whenever we click on an exercise, we go straight to it. And whenever we click on it, again, the music plays. So that's WPS Office, and it's freely available from wps.com, and I'll tell you all about it once you get started. And after a while, there was one more thought I had, which was when I started creating my vivencias with the library, I realized it was quite inconvenient to have a separate playlist and notes. So what I did was to create templates so that you could combine not only the music and its links, but also the exercise and all the notes that you have around that piece of music for that exercise. And I've created this document version, which is very easy to add the music and information from the catalogue, as well as a spreadsheet version, which has some bonuses that semi-automate the production of your vivencia. So for instance, over here I can put in an exercise number, like number 3, and up comes Fisherman's Circle or Surrender Circle. And if I just put in the music code, which in this case happens to be IBF 0523, then up comes for you all the details about that song, its name, artist, time, and so forth, but also the link to automatically play it in iTunes. And just so you know, you're not particularly tied to iTunes if you want to use any other media player, but everything has been developed to make sure it's 100% compatible with iTunes, because that's the most popular media player in the Biodanza world.
Oh, right. Who knows this song?
I recognise it. I don't think I can't remember.
Lemon Tree, isn't it?
Lemon Tree, yeah.
Yay!
Right. So we're here today to talk about what LSB Library 3.1 is, and why it's there, and how it's different from the previous one. And when I first started doing the library, for me it was just such a huge leap from just enjoying vivencias into creating my own. You know, getting hold of the music and choosing it is the major part. And it turns out it's relatively hit and miss. And I mean, obviously, it's a lot more than just the songs that I like. There's so much goes into choosing the right music. LSB 3.1 is all about crossing that bridge into moving from hit and miss, learn by experience. Maybe after a few years, we get it perfect, be able to jump straight into getting the perfect music. And we have Ruth to thank for this. She has done just such an amazing job, as I'm going to explain. So in the quest for getting the right music, I obviously created the first LSB Library, LSB Library 2, and I'm going to give some figures here just to give you an idea of scale, but that actually LSB Library 2 has got 900 songs in it. Okay. And of course, each song is often assigned to more than one exercise. And there are actually almost 3,000 exercise assignments in the catalogue that you already know. But the main thing is it's unfiltered. So it's just I just put together all of 2012, all of the diverse catalogue. Now, the diverse catalogue was the catalogue that was used by our teachers before the 2012 catalogue came along. But there's some really good music in there. And then, of course, we actually added in quite a lot of our own LSB music as well. So, as you know, the 2.1 was extremely comprehensive. Some really good music in there. There's no guidance in it. You just use it and it works, and it's worked brilliantly for so many of us. And there's really not a problem with it. But me being me, yeah, I noticed that I was, and actually some other people I knew were dipping into some other catalogues. The catalogues that we were dipping into, just in this quest for always getting the best music, the perfect music, the broadest music, there's this IBF 2014 European catalogue that our school gave us, but actually a lot of people just don't even know it exists. It's a massive catalogue of music and exercise assignments. Look at this. It's 1,800 songs, 3,400 exercise assignments, absolutely huge. And then there's the Buenos Aires collection, which I know you've heard of, but that had extended right up to 83 CDs now, also massive. 1,500 songs. And then there was this new catalogue, the 2018 catalogue, and that had 83 new and advanced exercises in it. And I just thought, wow, wouldn't it be amazing to put all those together and just to make one catalogue? And so on my own, off my own bat, this wasn't sponsored by the school or anything, March last year, I thought, yeah, I'll just start putting those together. Well, I had no idea what would happen if I put all those together, total of 4,500 songs, 8,500 exercise assignments. It was just a crazy, crazy mad thing to do. And I was just mad doing it. But I just did it anyway, because I kind of like love the music. And I thought, well, we're all, I can see me and other people going through trying to find the songs, trying to find the music. What does that exercise assignment mean? Which exercise is it? All the Buenos Aires exercise assignments were in Spanish with odd names. So it was just a complete mess. And so I just dedicated myself to putting it all together and making one major catalogue. But there was a problem, folks, with this. I actually did do it. I actually put it together. I say it took me a year. And it ended up, after I took out all of the duplications and assigned all the exercises correctly, ended up with 2,500 songs and 6,500 exercise assignments. It was just big. And I showed it to Ruth, and the first thing she said is, that's too big. And I had to agree, it was too big. But there was an amazing benefit to doing this crazy project. You see, right from the start, whenever a song was in the catalogue, or certainly when a song was added, I'd go to Ruth and Altair and Pitt, but Ruth was always the main contributor to this, and say, okay, we got this song, we're adding this song, what other exercise does this work with? And it was hard to actually sort of take it seriously. But with this huge base of music in front of us, I spoke with Ruth and we said, what if we just picked the best songs from this and just reduced it down to only the best songs? See, the thing is that in that 2,500 songs, like in the Buenos Aires catalogue, for instance, one of the reasons I wanted to do it, because there was some really good music in there, but there was also a lot of music that just wouldn't work for us in the UK, at least, or it's not very good music. So having actually got this resource in front of us, it gave us the opportunity to say, okay, let's actually check now for what the best music is. Now, the thing is that Ruth's got decades of experience about doing this. She's been running the school. She's been running weekly events here for years and years and years. She's tried everything. She knows what works and she knows also what doesn't work. And that is an incredible resource to build upon, that this whole new library has been built upon. So Ruth went through and not only picked all the best music, but also filled the gaps. So out of all that massive 3.0, if you like, the base catalogue, she went through every exercise assignment, as she says, at least twice. She went through every song, even if she knew it well, and listened to it again, and made sure that the exercise assignments that song was being assigned to were the ones that actually worked well. And that meant taking a lot of exercise assignments out and also actually adding in some other exercises where it might be, well, it doesn't really work. It says use it for this, but actually it's going to work a lot better for that. So she added in a lot of exercise assignments as well. And particularly where we were missing good music for an exercise, she added in a lot of her own music that she's been using to great success herself, that's not in any catalogue. And there's at least 70 songs she's added in this release, and it's all really good music. Now, we decided to split up the recommendations into 3 categories. So each piece of music and its assignment to an exercise was split into either R for recommended. Now, the recommended ones means if you use this song for this exercise, you can't go wrong. It's a no-brainer. It always works. You guaranteed success. What a boon to have that recommendation coming through into the catalogue, because otherwise we have all this music and we just have to guess. So that was the main reason for having this catalogue, is these are recommendations. And actually, out of the 2,400 songs, 750 of them actually have these are recommendations, at least one, because they may be assigned to one or more exercises. But also there's other music in there. We didn't really want to lose it because it's good music, but not quite in that ultimate category. So we kept a lot of the music in under a Y recommendation, for Y being yes, yep, it is suitable. You could use it under your own discretion. You don't need to use it because the R's are all, every exercise has got enough R's in there. So we've got these 2 categories. Recommended is the main category. It's the main reason for the catalogue. And these Y's, which is like, yeah, some extra bonus music here, and it's all good music. Now, the IBF 2012 catalogue, that was 400 songs. So we've still got a lot of really good music in here, and it's all focused. Still got a total of 2,900 assignments. That's actually the same as our previous library, LSB2. But this was, I can't tell you what a huge job this was to actually manage all of this data. I had to write a special program just for Ruth to be able to do the data entry and capture any errors and look at what she's done and, not duplicate work and so forth. It was a massive job, but it worked extremely well. And actually, Ruth loved it. She actually loved this opportunity to capture all her knowledge and her experience and put it into this ultimate resource for us, the students. And, she's not young, but by golly, did she work hard for 6 months over this. So just for a way of example of what we've got now, I'll just give you one example. So initiation circle, for instance. Let me just show you first what it looks like in the catalogue now. So this is the catalogue, it's more or less as you're used to it. So if I go to initiation circle here on the left, so we're used to seeing the music, but the main thing is these recommendations down the left here now. So all of these songs are recommended for initiation circle. Honestly, every time I pick one of her recommendations, I mean, I'm very fussy on my music about what I like, what I don't like. But every time I pick one, the song works. And so it's just lovely to have this. Now we've only got 25 songs with the R recommendations. And, quite a few more with Y. So there's quite a lot of extra choice there if you want to explore a bit further. So essentially, it all looks the same. We've still got the viventia lines over the left. We've still got the beats per minute if we need it over, on the right. But what we have now that's really different are these recommendations. So we've got a much broader base of music that's been brought right down to focus on the music that just really works. So just by way of comparison, our original IBF 2012 catalogue, the one that the school originally gave us, that had 34 choices for the initiation circle. With our LSB 2.4 library, we doubled that up to 70. And with my base catalogue, so if I took all of the recommendations from all the main catalogues, we actually had over 200 choices. Now, in there was some great music. How are you going to manage 200 choices? So this is what Ruth has done for us. It's her gift for us. I think it's really her legacy to us. She's reduced all of that down to 25 choices, 25 recommended choices. And there's 42 other, yes, there's suitable ones there. So I was actually interested to see, well, in those choices, how much of the original IBF 2012 have we still got in the library? And actually, it's interesting that we've only got 5 of those choices there as R. So this has been the exercise, friends, to take this huge body of music that we have in Biodanza and to reduce it down to a set of music that actually has been proven to work for us here in the UK. As always, as I created the catalogue, I applied all my quality standards to it. So I made sure that all the naming was correct, that the quality of the song and the music was right, had the right album art in there. So it was all tagged up beautifully. So all the songs are to the same great standards that we had before. So there was actually something else that Ruth was quite keen on. I've always taken as our base catalogue the IBF 2012, because that's got all the exercises in there. But a lot of the exercises, like for instance, you'd have cubist painting. Well, if you look under cubist painting, it actually says this is a specialized exercise under the creativity extension. So it's not really an exercise for us to use if we haven't been trained in it, or it's part of an extension, or it's part of the Minotaur project. And I had added in all these extra advanced exercises from the 2018 catalogue. So we went through, there are 83 exercises, and we have retained 13 of them, 13 that are relevant to us and to the school. Yeah. So it's not the full catalogue anymore. If you want the full catalogue, talk to me, because it is sitting there as another option in the background. But these are the ones that are suitable for us. We've removed about a third of the exercises overall for us, but what's left is all very relevant, and we've actually added more. We've actually added in some more exercises as well, such as the opening doors group dance of the butterfly in threes that was introduced into the school recently, some various back massages, the crazy dance, and so forth. We've actually added quite a few more in. And also, something I'm quite proud of, I'll show you. One of the things that bugged me right from the start was the fact that Samba games didn't have many Samba games in it. As you know, in the previous catalogue, I started adding these Samba games in. And what we've done now is sort of formalize it. We've actually added even more Samba games. And for each one, like animate the other with touch, we have a little description for it now. And we have some recommended, can't go wrong with this music, suggestions in here as well. So all these lovely, fantastic Samba games that I love, that I didn't have any description for, I had to just remember and make a complete guess on what music, they're all down here. So I'm very proud of this fantastic set of music and exercises we got for Samba games. So I think I've covered the main points about why we have a new catalogue. So just to summarize, certainly me and I know others were dipping into other catalogues in the quest for finding the ultimate music. Ruth's come to the rescue by saying, great, this is the ultimate music for this exercise. Because again, that was always something that was a problem for me, was that I'd find a piece of music I loved, thought, that's really good. And I go, I wonder what exercise we could use that for, and just make a wild guess. But now I've got it all in front of me, every single exercise. Doesn't matter which one you choose, heart to heart dance. Here we are, look, we got 5 songs here that we know are gonna work. Only one of those actually came from IPF 2012. These ones actually came from 2014. So having this huge base of music has given us this opportunity to focus our attention onto creating the best events as we can without having to worry about, is this the right music for it? Compact swaying group. There we are. Look, there's a lovely selection of music there. And you've got enough music there to last you a long time and start cycling through it again. And I think Ruth's point is, if you're doing compact swaying group, this is really all the music you ever need. So this catalogue has had its life of being absolutely huge and then back down to something incredibly manageable. And it's this manageable content now of recommended music that I'm so excited about for our new catalogue. So at that point there, any comments so far, or thoughts or questions?
I just think it's absolutely astounding. It's so comprehensive. It's going to take an enormous amount of stress and strain out. So I'm incredibly grateful. I think you've done, both of you, most extraordinary, and thank you so much for dedicating so much of your life towards it. For us, it's a real chef d'oeuvre. It's a real calling, and I'm so grateful. It looks absolutely extraordinary. Can't wait to use it.
Well, we're going to get you set up soon, Susie.
Yes, please.
And that's really exciting. Thank you for that comment. I really appreciate it. As I've said to you yesterday, Susie, what I've done has been a bit like mental. You know, in terms of my life, I shouldn't have done this. I've bankrupted myself basically doing this. I have almost no, it's been a full-time job for the last 18 months. Now it's done, I'm getting a job. Don't worry, I will sort myself out. But to do it and to manage this much data and to bring it back down to what you see in front of you has just taken me to the ends of my capacity of ability. And when you see Ruth, everybody, please pass on to her your appreciations as well, because what she did in the background, nobody will ever see the amount of work she put into this.
I've got a question about the London School Catalogue, but does that mean that anyone can purchase it?
Thank you, Emily. The answer is yes, it's available to everybody. My fundamental is, I know this is so good, everybody should have it. And even if they're, certainly English speaking, so Australians and so forth, but I think also other cultures will get great benefit from this list. As far as I'm concerned, it should be in every facilitator's and every student's repertoire, even if it's just complementing something else. I think once they realize what it's like, they won't be able to live without it. And that was my goal, and I think that's what we've achieved. So yes, it is for everybody. So this is a good segue into what's the charge for this, yeah? Now, right from the start, those of you who know me from the beginning, I didn't really want to charge for it at all. I just wanted it to be my gift. And everybody said, no, you've got to charge for it. And that's quite right. And I've honored that. And I love getting paid for that. And certainly for this update, which I've dedicated my life to, it's certainly appropriate to have an appropriate charge. Now, of course, then how much is an appropriate charge? So I started talking to Ruth about this, but she was very clear that really it should be charged appropriately for what it is. And her figure was always £250. Now, for me, that still seems like a lot, although I know it's worth it. Yeah. In the overall scheme of the investment in Biodanza, I know that that's worth that £250. Yeah. At the same time, it's actually more important for me that everybody has it. So Ruth is recommending £250. And I'm saying, well, I don't want to force people into that because that's going to be really tough for some people, but I do want to give people the option of that. So the previous catalogue was, I said, £75 to £150. And what was interesting and lovely was that people found their own natural space within that of what they wanted to contribute. And so I'm sort of saying, well, it's certainly twice as valuable. And it certainly represents twice as much work and so forth. So if I just double it up now to 150 to 300 as a suggestion, then people can just fall within where they feel comfortable with that and honor that. And I know that people are very happy to honor that, which is what it's worth and what they're able to contribute. And I don't want anybody to not have this because they can't afford it. So everybody can afford something. I don't care what it is. I just really want everyone to have it. If people want to do installments or whatever, they'll find their own way. What I did before was I gave lots of instructions for how to set things up. It's not very complicated setting it up, but people can't follow instructions. So now what I do is I set it up for everybody. So I include that as part of the deal, as it were. And it takes half an hour to set it up. But there's always discussion and I show things around. So it's a good hour or two to get everyone set up. But then they're on the way. And I think that's a good part of the service as well, because there is a lot to this. Like I've done a lot of work on the template sheet, for instance, as an alternative for playlist. And as you know, you can just type in an exercise number in one of the codes and it all comes up automatically. And also at the bottom, I've also put a BPM chart in there as well. So you can actually see how the flow of your beats per minute are going, if that's the sort of thing that interests you. So all these little refinements, they all make a big difference to the usability of it. And so I do like to hold people's hands just to get them started. People are very keen to let other people know and to share about it and to put them in contact with me. So let's just make sure that everybody who wants it gets it on a system for them to contribute whatever they can afford and they feel is appropriate for them, and maybe do that over installments. Any thoughts?
Well, first of all, thank you, because it's brilliant, because I've been doing my classes and it takes me hours going through the music, because every time there's an exercise I was going through and then thinking, oh, that one's okay, but it's not that great. So this is going to be brilliant, because I was very, very fussy about what I wanted to use. So it's going to quicken my writing of events. It's going to help a lot. So that's brilliant. And I'd literally email Ruth and say, I want to do this exercise. Is there another piece of music I can use? Because I'm not very keen on this lot. And I'm sure there's something that's absolutely a winner. What do you use for blah, blah, blah? And then she'd go, oh, yeah, so it's not in your catalogue, but you can have this one. And it was great. But she had to keep sending them to me and I had to keep uploading them on iTunes. And but they were tunes that will be here now.
Because this is the whole point of the catalogue, is that everything you say, it should be true. All right.
Yeah.
Now you've already been going to Ruth. You've already been using her recommendations. You like her recommendations in principle.
Yeah, I do.
You should love it.
Yes, I should, shouldn't I? Thank you. Thank you very much.
I feel very confident you're going to go, oh yeah, this is the business.
Well, John, thank you so much as well for your hard work.
Thank you, Sandra.
Done. And my question is, can you put on iPhone?
Right now, look, there's two things. One is choosing the music, and the second thing is playing that music in the Vivencia. Okay.
Right.
Now, to choose the music, you can put this catalogue that you see here, or the spreadsheet. Or the spreadsheet version of it. You get Office on Android, you get Office on iPhones, but the only ones where the link works, that when you click on the link, the music plays so you can review it, is on Windows and Mac. It's another project to get that on those devices. But what you can do is, having made your playlist, you can play those songs on any device you like. You can put the whole library over onto your phone or your tablet, and you can create your playlist from there. So you do have the flexibility to do what you've always done. That's the only thing, is that when you click a link in here, or the template won't work on the phone. So you can't just click a link in these templates and have it play.
I just said thank you so much. And I say we all need a personal call with you at some point.
Yeah. When we do, and to get you set up, so you just email me just to confirm you're ready to go ahead. That's just the usual johnjameson8@gmail. Yeah. And I'll set you up. We can just do it all on a remote share. So I come onto your screen with any desk or team viewer or something, and then I come online with you. We have a chat and we just get it set up for you. I show you how to use it. You make sure you feel comfortable with it. Plus, I am always available to help you. If you've got a question or a need, you call me. We come back online and I fix it within a few minutes with you, or I show you how to do it. And I don't charge for that. If it's less than 15 minutes, most questions are resolved within a few minutes. I don't charge for that. But the idea that I'm here to help and, more than happy, because it's just always nice to connect and solve problems. This is another bonus as well.
Can I just ask one quick question? When I purchase this, can I upload it into 2 different laptops?
We can do them both at the same time if you like. Yeah, it's easy enough. Once it's all downloaded, then we just put it on a stick and transfer it over.
Oh, fine, okay.
Yeah, it's easy enough. Well, Michael, how are you doing?
Michael? Oh, yeah, very, very well. Yeah, it's the current catalogue has been such a great resource, really. We're doing the weekly vivencias.
Yes.
So it really helps in doing that and in putting together playlists. And it's really great. So I'm really looking forward to this new one. Well, thank you, John. That's a brilliant work that you've done. I just find that sort of mind-blowing, really, that you've actually spent so much time, and also Ruth has done so much work on this.
Well, if you think about what Rachel was trying to get out of Ruth for her vivencias, that's what we've done with this, but on steroids. And we've done it for everything, so that every exercise has sufficient variety in there. Obviously, the popular exercises have more variety. So that idea of collating all of that effort that Ruth's been putting into individuals, helping them, it's now all in one place. So when you're ready to go, just send me an email. We'll get the process started. Yeah, basically, we just need to set a time to get together on a connection, and we'll be done. You'll be on your way. Blessings to you all. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
So I would love you to go ahead and try the LSB library for yourself. If you're interested, send me an email at johnjameson8@gmail.com. I'll send you all the details so we can get you started and you can experience for yourself just how wonderful it is. Certainly everybody who's been using the library up to now have been absolutely blown away by it and so full of praise. I can't wait for you to get a chance to try it for yourself. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Look forward to hearing from you, and bye for now.
I'm driving around in my car. I'm driving too fast, I'm driving too far. I'd like to change my point of view. I feel so lonely, I'm waiting for you, but nothing ever happens. And I wonder how, I wonder why. Yesterday you told me about the blue, blue sky, and all that I can see just a yellow lemon tree.